The birth of a baby is an exciting, joyful time. However, it's not a happy beginning for every mom. Postpartum depression and anxiety impact more families than you might realize. That includes our own dear colleague, Danielle Lerner. Tonight, she's sharing her story about the struggle she faced after her daughter was born, hoping this can help other families facing the battle now.
You want to give her a little smooch on her cheeky?
Yeah, give her a little smooch. Oh.
What mom doesn't want to hold their baby?
She likes that.
I didn't know why I didn't want to hold her, but I would sit there in the recliner and I would force myself to hold her because I knew that if I didn't, that we would just grow further apart. It's hard to tell your husband, yeah, I really am doing everything I can to get out of bed in the morning and to not run out the door when you leave. I mean, how do you tell your husband that that's how you're feeling? Harper Sienna was born in April. Those early weeks were just us getting accustomed to being a family of 4 and learning what was going to be our new normal. At about 6 weeks postpartum is when everything kind of just fell apart.
She seemed like everything was normal. I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it.
I didn't want to go anywhere with them because I was terrified. What if they cry? What if they, do something and I don't know what to do? So I would just stay home. And it just got to the point where even changing a diaper started to feel really overwhelming, and my gut instincts started to just want to run away.
There were moments early on with Harper kind of wondering why is she not wanting to hold her, but it never really registered.
It wasn't that I didn't want to, it was almost like I felt like it was too overwhelming. Like I wasn't capable of caring for her, so I just wanted to push it away. Even knowing that this was something that was chemical and hormonal and that it wasn't me, just remembering those weeks where I had to force myself to hold my baby is hard.
Are you being silly? Hi.
And I think that's where a lot of women probably start to shut down because you don't want to admit that you don't want to hold your baby. That just continued until finally I just started having full-blown panic attack. I would just curl up in the corner in the dining room and I would just cry and rock back and forth. And then there's that guilt and that shame of this isn't what a mom does. You don't shrink back. You're supposed to be doing all of this.
It probably took me a minute to actually step back and go, there's something a little bit more serious happening.
He asked me one day, just point blank, do you think that you would ever hurt the girls? Just without even thinking, I said, well, no, of course I would never hurt the girls. If anything, I would hurt myself first. And he's looked at me and said, well, we don't want that either.
We talked about it a lot, and I just, said, I want my wife back.
We both realized something is happening to me, and we need professional help. Are you having mac and cheese and milk? I was lucky I was able to get in right away to do an intake, see a counselor.
You're having both?
We went the route of medication because that's what was best for us.
1, 2, 3.
Thankfully now, after several months of therapy and treatment, I'm really, really enjoying just being a mom and living in those moments with them. Yeah, it's going to be crazy and overwhelming, but it never feels impossible. And I think that's the big difference. Anybody who comes in contact with a pregnant woman or a new mom has the ability to just check in on her and to keep this in mind. Moms, be honest about how you're feeling and try to cut through that guilt and shame, because it doesn't mean you're a bad mom. It doesn't mean that you don't love your kids and your family, you know, you just need some help, and that's okay. And that's okay.
This was so selfless of you to tell your story.
Thank
And
you,
I'm
Katie.
so glad you're here.
Yes,
to be
no,
here.
I know. I got to give you a hug. Yeah, and I texted you during, you know, that time, and it was hard, and it's hard to look back on that even and to remember what that was like. And so, you know, we felt like once the clouds cleared a bit and we
Yes.
were in a much better spot, that, you know, we needed to share our story as a way of raising awareness and highlighting help. And so actually, as we're talking here, we have the phone number here for Postpartum Support International. It's a warm line that you can call or text anytime. Somebody will get back to you within 24 hours to answer questions and connect you with local resources. And so, of course, that was a big reason why we wanted to share our story. And also, Katie, just to try to reduce the stigma surrounding this. You know, you and I have talked about this.
Yes.
This is happening in our communities. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It is treatable if it's addressed, and giving people hope as well, because when you are in those dark
Right.
moments, it is hard to imagine that you will ever make it out of it, quite frankly. And so if someone can see that we've been able to come out on the other side of this, hopefully it encourages them to seek help and really just rally around one another.
And not just every new mom to watch this story, but I hope every new dad watches this story as well,
Yes.
because Al stepped in at the perfect moment.
Yes.
We're so glad he did. And you're going to have more stories this week.
That's right, yes. I'm so grateful for my husband and for our
As are
family
we.
and our friends, yes. And you know, it's been eye-opening for him too, and he's
Yeah.
spoken with other spouses as well about the importance of keeping an eye out for those symptoms. And so we wanted to take it one step further. We wanted to look at what's being done in our state to help families access that
Legislation,
postpartum care.
all of
Right.
it.
So tomorrow we'll be airing some stories on the power of peer and social support, and also some bills that are heading through the legislation right now here in Arizona to help women access that care. And we've listed so many resources on abc15.com/postpartum. So hopefully, just by sharing our story and getting that information out, we can touch
So glad
people's
you did.
lives.
We're so
Yes.
glad you did.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Danielle, for being brave.